Hey, we're back.
What's up, y'all?
We told you we made it back to back.
Yeah.
We're on a roll.
All right, getting back in the groove.
Yep. But you know what? Before we start, I just want to send my condolences. I just found out today one of the best actors in Hollywood died today. And he was a pioneer in the martial art movies. Chuck Chuck Norris died today.
Yeah, I found out at work. That's
So
crazy.
he was in some iconic movies in the 70s, 80s, and the 90s, and into early 2000s and the late 2000s. So, but yeah, just send my condolences out to the family. And Chuck Norris, we loved your movie, so rest in peace. And yeah, let's get started to the show. We're not going to have a long episode today, guys, because I can't sit in the chair for a long time. I had a bad fall, so we're going to hurry it up. We only have two topics today: the NBA playoff race and more Packers rumors. So where do you want to start, Kenton?
You can do the Packer rumor stuff first.
All right. There is a rumor out there. We're looking for backup quarterback. And fortunately, I do not like the three candidates out there. The first candidate is Kirk Cousins, who got released by the Atlanta Falcons. Second candidate is Russell Wilson, who got cut by the New York Giants. And the third candidate is Jimmy Garoppolo, who got cut by the Rams. So let me ask you, out of those three names, who do you like as the backup quarterback? Two. Jordan Love.
Neither, because they're gonna want money.
No, not really. They like take the very minimum for 1 year, and that wouldn't be that bad for them.
Nah, we can get like a quarterback in like the 7th, 6th round. 5th.
But do you really want to risk a rookie backup? But for the past two seasons, Love did miss some games with injuries. So if he gets injured again and not able to play for a couple of weeks, that could be a punch in the stomach if we had no backup quarterback.
I don't know. It's just, I guess, something that I'm not interested in. I guess.
But every team has to think about that. It's a long
Oh,
season.
I'm talking about guys that are available. I'm not interested in the position either as much. I guess adding at what I was saying, but no, I'm not. None of those guys I want on the team.
But if you had to pick,
What were the options again?
Jimmy Garoppolo, Russell Wilson, and Kirk Cousins.
I guess
Those are the three. Who?
Jimmy Garoppolo. I guess.
You like Jimmy, really?
No, I don't like any of them, Jay.
No, but if you have to pick, you pick Jimmy out of those three.
I guess.
Yeah, I would go with
Russell
Kirk.
Wilson, I guess, though.
I
Too.
would, I would go with Kirk Cousins just to piss off the Vikings.
Maybe, but sounds good.
Just piss off the Vikings. And you know what? It might come in handy if Kirk Cousins remembers what kind of defense the Vikings play. That could help.
Yeah, but they would think they would probably change a little bit by now.
Yeah. And there's also another rumor out there, guys. We are interested in trading for Josh Sweat, the pass rusher for Arizona Cardinals, who demanded a trade because his head coach is our new defensive coordinator, and under our defensive coordinator, Josh Sweat had a Pro Bowl season with 11.5 sacks last year. And he doesn't seem like he wants out of Arizona. But the thing is, there is another team out there who is interested in Josh Sweat, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's a two-team race between the Packers and the Eagles. But I think he might come to the Packers because he is more familiar with our new defensive coordinator's defense. But it might take a third round pick for the trade. He is only 28 years old, so he's still young. So what do you think about that?
No, I would like to get him,
The guy had 11 sacks.
especially until we don't have Quay Walker anymore. So
Well, we got the same kind of guy in a trade with Quay Walker's ability, but a little bit older, like about 2 years older than Quay. So we should be fine there. And we had depth at the linebacker spot with Hopper and McDuffie. And they played excellent last year when Quick got hurt for a couple of games. But yeah, Quay Walker signed up a huge deal with the Raiders.
yeah, he did.
And good for him, dude. We're getting a early third round compensation pick by the NFL.
Man, I wish the NBA would give teams compensation picks like that.
Really? NBA doesn't do that?
No.
Yeah.
I guess in the NBA you can buy second round picks if a team doesn't want it.
Oh, you can buy.
If I'll just throw a random team. Like if the Wizards have like multiple picks in the second round, and I'll just use, and then the Bucks or any other team was like, hey, instead of trading you a player, we'll give you like $5,000 for that pick or something like that. And then
you can do that. Damn, that is
only if you're under the second apron. Like I told you, that new rule that people keep forgetting about.
Yeah.
Like I said, no matter what, even if real quick, let's talk about a little bit of basketball. Even if it makes sense to get rid of Giannis right now because of his injury proneness and the way his body is, I again just like him to see as a bucker, as a life, a buck for life. But because of his contract and the team that any team where he goes would want a build around him, realistically, a lot of these dream scenarios that you keep hearing ESPN talk about and all these other NBA casuals talk about are just unrealistic. And that was what was getting me frustrated. At this point, I don't care no more because I'm not a fan of the NBA and like that, so I'm not really stressing anymore about it because they literally killed my joy.
So let me ask you.
But if Giannis goes anywhere, it's not going to go anywhere. People are going to be like, "Oh yeah, it's the Heat, the Warriors, the Knicks." No, it might be like the Houston Rockets, the Atlanta Hawks, the Memphis Grizzlies. Like,
Well,
it's still,
if
it's
he
not
goes,
going to be, huh?
I think if he goes to Atlanta Hawks, he's gonna make an impact on that team, man.
Well, that's why I said they're the only team that have picks, and they have two players that the Bucks have had interest in trading other players for in the past. So to me, it makes sense, and I would like the two. If I'm getting 7 first-round picks at least, because again, like I told you, a guy who's not even an all-star just went for 5, and Giannis is a 2-time MVP, a champion, an all-defensive player of the year, and he's an 11-time All-Star. He's also an 11-time All-Pro on offense, and he's also an 10-time All-Defensive Pro.
You know what? These numbers blow my mind, dude. Man, NBA teams actually trade like 7, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 first round picks. That is crazy.
It's like the Bucks. Was it for Eric Bledsoe? We gave 3 first-rounders for. He's an all-star, but he wasn't an all-star, but an all-star like caliber player who should have been an all-star but never got it.
But that is crazy.
Oh yeah, I told you the NBA does not, because there's so much player empowerment and movement. Teams think they can just buy players in the off season, so they're like, "Well, here's our fucking picks. Here you go."
I mean, everybody thought the Rams a couple of years ago were crazy to give away their draft. Like, you remember they got rid of first rounders. They got Matt Stafford. They traded another first round pick for defensive players. So they didn't have any first round picks for 4 years, and everyone was going crazy over that. But in the NBA, you can actually trade away 10 first round picks.
Yeah. Let me search the exact trade picks for the Oklahoma City and Paul George trade, but
all right, guys, we're done with the Green Bay Packers rumors topic here. We're going off off topic, but this is interesting to me. It's blowing my mind. The NBA teams do not like to build their teams through the draft. So, Kendrick, let me ask you a question. They don't build a team in the draft?
Huh?
None of these teams build teams in the draft.
The Oklahoma City Thunder, almost their whole roster is from the picks that they traded from this trade I'm about to tell you.
Oh my god, that is crazy, dude. That is nuts.
So in 2019, the Los Angeles Clippers sent NBA record-breaking haul to the Thunder in exchange for Paul George. The price was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's now who was at the MVP of the NBA last year. D'Lo Gallinari, and 5 first-round picks, 2 first-round pick swaps. I don't know why it's not telling me they're second rounders.
That's nuts.
And there was a couple second round picks as well, I'm pretty sure.
And earlier you said teams can buy picks too?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's technically like trading, but instead of trading players, you're just trading money in a pick.
So is there a cap on how much money gets spent?
Mm-hmm. That's why I said there's a second apron, and that's why.
So there is a cap.
Yeah. Remember I told you the Bucks were in the second apron a couple years ago, so we couldn't
Yeah.
do anything. And this is the only reason. Okay, look into my eyes, people. The only reason why I'm hopeful as a Bucks fan is because as soon as the season's over, Doc Rivers is fired, and for the first time, we're not in this. Well, technically, last year we weren't in there, but we're not in the second apron again. So the Bucks actually have flexibility this time. If they don't do anything with this flexibility, I still think the Bucks are actually in good hands. I'm gonna say it with or without Giannis. I think the Bucks are actually gonna have a good opportunity now.
So,
Literally the only problem is Doc Rivers and maybe Giannis getting hurt. Oh, I'm dead serious, Jay. There's no, you don't even have to make that ugly face, right? You know, like Doc Rivers is just that bad of a coach. His rotations are awful. He keeps cluster bunching up the wrong players, and that's what it is. Everybody on our team is talented and good enough, but you can't pair certain players together
but isn't he a Hall of Fame coach?
for getting carried a lot of the times, but he's also blown the most 3-1 leads in NBA history.
But he is a Hall of Fame.
Just because he's a Hall of Fame coach doesn't mean he's good, man. Like you could be such a good coach and then lose it, and he's lost it. He's been lost it. He's only won one championship, and that was with the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, but what made the Bucks fire their old coach?
Following NBA trends, well, okay, I'm just fine. That's a lie. The reason we fired Adrian Griffin, which people think is bad, is he just lost the locker room, even though we had a good record. They fired him when we were like 32-15, which is a great record.
That is a
Play
weird.
style was awesome, but the players just didn't mess with him. You know, a lot like their body language was bad, I guess.
Yeah, but you got
And Thanasis came out on his podcast. He said he wasn't one of those players. He liked Adrian Griffin, but he said majority of the players just didn't fuck with the way he spoke to them or whatever. So our front staff, which I think was a mistake, and let him go. I think they should at least played out the year. And then with Mike Budenholzer, who I thought should have been fired 2 years before, um, we fired him, but you know we wouldn't have, I guess, gotten to the championship. But he just didn't know how to make adjustments. Doc Rivers doesn't know how to either, so that's what doesn't make any sense. But I would say Doc Rivers talks about making adjustments, unlike Mike Budenholzer did. Mike Budenholzer wouldn't even acknowledge it at all. It's just, you know, and he also had this weird saying of play free. You know, he wasn't too much of a X's and O's guy. You know, play free, play unpredictable.
So
You would hear him
basically play people.
kind of.
Anything goes.
Yeah, so that's just also that can only work for the Bucks. That only worked for the Bucks so far. It did for literally 6 seasons. The Bucks were the best team in the league, but when we got to the playoffs, we could never get to that push because he would refuse to make adjustments in our playoff pushes. You know, so
Okay.
the Bucks have just kind of been a mess trying to stay competitive to keep Giannis, but instead of I think taking a deep breath and trying to do what's just best, they're just saying like, look, we're trying. Look, we're trying. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
which
Sure.
I still think is honorable in a way because you're trying to get to prove to your star that
Yeah.
like, yo, we want to keep you, you know, and like we're putting in effort. But I think it's just a rushed effort. And I think
Yeah.
if they actually calculated and scouted better, what players would work better instead of just getting names and stuff. Like, and the Bucks don't really do it to get him. It just that's kind of how it happens. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
see, we're going after the best name for you to prove that we want to win. And this is to me where I and the rest of the NBA community disagree is because they're hypocritical because they'll tell an NBA player to stay on one team that doesn't do that, but just because the location they're in, they deserve that. Like Miami, they deserve in LA, just because it's LA and Miami, they deserve all the players, but they're not gonna really try and go out themselves
Yeah.
to try and get those players because they just feel entitled to. The Bucks don't, and because we're in Milwaukee and the stupid propaganda that ESPN pushes, and then the NBA still believes. that's not a hot market, because there's no fucking reason, excuse my language though, that Chicago should be a hot market, but they still have the exact same weather we do. But our cost of living is cheaper. We do have more parks and resorts than Illinois as a whole. Literally, I'm not trying to be mean to the fibs. That's what Wisconsinites call Illinois people. Yes, it's like a slight state slur type of thing to each other for the rivalry. But literally, the only city Illinois has is Chicago, and then Six Flags. So
Yeah.
everything else is literally flat land, suburbs, and boring. Wisconsin has Milwaukee, Madison, Green Bay, the Dells. Those are like the top ones, So
So let's get into the NBA playoff race.
yep. Let me get back to what I was looking at for that.
So who's coming out of the East, who's coming out of the West, and who is coming out of the North?
So in the East, playoff positions right now, the Pistons are first with 50 wins and 19 losses.
Okay.
Boston Celtics are in second with 46 wins and 23 losses. The Knicks are third, and they have 45 wins and 25 losses. The
Okay.
Cavs are fourth, and they have 43 wins and 27 losses. And those are like the four almost mainstays. Like that's pretty much their positions and gonna stay unless the team goes on like a streak in the last. I think it's anywhere from like 8 to 12 games for
Okay.
left. And then after that, this is where it gets into like the positions can change, and it's close. And fifth, we have the Toronto Raptors. Their record is 39 and 29.
Okay.
The Hawks are in sixth, and their wins are 38, and their losses are 31. And then they're tied with the Orlando Magic with the same record. And then the Heat are eighth with the wins of 38, but they have one more loss at 32 losses. Then you have the Sixers, who have the exact same record for ninth.
Jeez.
And then 10th is the Charlotte Hornets, and they're 36 and 34. And then after that, that's out of the playoff fight. Still technically we're still in it, but I'm thinking we're done. Are the Milwaukee Bucks in 11th, and we're 28 and 41.
Okay.
But I do want to say, and no one's giving us any slack for it, we have been the most injured team the whole season. So literally our two best players have missed over 64 games. So, which again, there's only 82 games in the season. So, and again, we're just a bad team. We have a bad coach, but we're not a bad as a team thing.
Okay. Got it.
I don't mind my team sucking and getting criticized. I just want the criticism to be true. You can tell my team's bad and say it's bad, but can you just be right on why you're saying it's bad?
Your team sucks. Get it? And it's coming out of the loving place. They suck.
No, there's still 4 other teams that are worse than us. So.
but let's be honest, they're not making the playoffs.
And this is the first time Nut is making the playoffs in 9 years, so I'm not really sweating it. And again, like I said, I'm hopeful for our offseason. So
yeah. So I don't know, but who's gonna make the final?
Out of the East?
Yeah. Does it have to be the Celtics?
Yeah, I was going to say the Detroit Pistons just lost their best player, almost probably for the rest of the season.
Ooh, ouch!
Yeah, Cade Cunningham has a collapsed lung. So
how do you get a collapsed lung? Did he get hit?
They dove on the floor for a ball. and when his arm went out, the other guy kind of landed on him.
Oh, that hurt.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Crap, because that's the pick I was gonna go with, and every other team in the East I don't want to be in the finals
Why not?
because I hate them all. I don't hate them all, but I just like them enough. Like, there's not a player really on any of these teams where I'm like, I want you to win a championship.
Nobody on the Hawks,
Nope.
Celtics.
Hell no.
What other team did you pick?
There's the
Magic.
Knicks and the Cavaliers.
I don't like the Cats.
Yeah, I don't like Cleveland. Sorry. I like people from Cleveland, but I don't like Cleveland.
Hey, one of my friends are from Cleveland. He lives out there, and he has that
Oh,
wonderful.
my cousin lives in Cleveland right now. So
And my friend has a great YouTube channel, but he's not that successful. I can't be. Let's say. And it's cold out there.
yeah, there's nobody that I really want in the East.
Let's just say it's something.
The team I want to win, I'll just say who I want to win the championship because it's on the West. So.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
But the West playoff race is a lot more straightforward than the East. Not as much fighting
Clutter. Not
for
much
position.
clutter.
Yeah. So the first in the West are the Oklahoma City Thunder with 55 wins and 15 losses.
Okay.
Second place are the San Antonio Spurs with 52 wins and 18 losses.
Okay.
3 boo are the LA Lakers, and they're 45 and 25.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth are the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they're 43 and 27. Fifth are the Houston Rockets, and they're 41 and 27.
Okay.
So it's kind of close there. The Denver Nuggets are 42 and 28, and they're in sixth. And then this is where the play-in tournament for the playoffs comes in from 7th to 10th. So if you can remember those from the East, guys. 7th place are the Phoenix Suns, and they're 39 and 31. And all of those teams that I just named are pretty much kind of set in their playoff thing. But the Suns will be facing the 10th seed, which I'll get there. 8th are the Los Angeles Clippers. They're 34 and 36. So they have more losses than wins.
Yeah.
9th are the Trailblazers. They're 34th and 36 as well. And then 10th are the Golden State Warriors with 33 and 36. So those 3 teams right there are close. And then when it gets to 11th, which are the Memphis Grizzlies, it drops. They're 24 and 44. So all those teams under, I'm not going to go because they're not in.
Yeah, they're not in.
And the 2 team I wouldn't care. I would probably want the Thunder to win, or the Spurs, or the Nuggets. So if any of those 3 teams go to the finals, I'll be content.
Well, you have it there, guys. That's our NBA special reporter, Kenton over here. If he knows about the NBA, I don't. But I'm more of an NFL guy. But yeah, there you go. That's Kenton's thoughts about the playoff race. And we will end it on that note. Is that okay with you, Kenton?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I gotta do that. I can't sit in the chair for. I had a bad fall last Friday, so I'm hurting. I am hurting. And Kenton knows about this. I told him what happened, so it sucked, but it happened. you gonna do?
Try not to do it again.
Shut up, Devin. I didn't mean to do it. Everybody thinks I need to hurt myself all the time. I'm like,
Hey, I didn't say you meant to. I just said try not to do it again.
yeah, I know, yeah, but other people, do you mean to do it? I'm like, whoever means to get hurt, really? But yeah, is there anything you want to say? Are you coming out with anything new, or streaming, or videos, or your whole lot? What's going on in your life?
I got a lot of stuff going on. So,
Good God.
talk about it? No, because I don't want to keep talking about stuff. So,
Okay.
Eventually, people will hear and see. So,
yeah, eventually we'll see what he does. And one more thing, guys. My niece has a YouTube channel. I will put it in the link below. If you're into Roblox, give her a check. If you have any kids that are into Roblox, tell them to check it out. And, do all that YouTube stuff, like and subscribe and give her a thumbs up. And also, our new videos coming out tomorrow, Monday, and Wednesday. Those are the new upload days. So until the season starts. So it may differ after the season starts. So, but on that note, like I always say, stay safe, be positive, and you know what to say. Kenton.
go, Pack, go.
And we will see you next week. I hope. We will see you next week. See you later, guys.